This is the continuing mystery of the Adamastor and the Hesperus, and I'm here with Commander Monohive, and we're going to go and take a look at what's been happening over the last couple of days. And the best place to start, if you were a part of all of it last time, if you went and found the Hesperus, if you went and handed in the reward, scanned the logs and handed them in, then on Thursday you received another message from Salvation. If you didn't, don't worry about it, because I'll be posting all of the locations of everywhere you can go to see everything for yourself. This message is the only thing you won't get, but you'll be able to see absolutely everything else. We've been waiting 7 weeks for this part of the story to carry on. And Commander, this is Salvation. Thank you for playing a part in finding the Hesperus megaship. I require your expertise again to fully resolve that mystery. I need to learn what happened to the surviving crew members of the Hesperus. Although the abandoned ship nearly 2 centuries ago, it's possible they discovered something of scientific value. The Hesperus began its journey from the Lichel system. As a precautionary protocol, it deployed signal beacons approximately every 100 light years. My agents have analysed the Hesperus's onboard systems and confirmed that only 17 beacons were launched. I assume this stopped when Pharma Sapien took over the ship, and they sabotaged the beacons to prevent azimuth biochemical learning what happened. Shortly after this point, survivors of the original crew escaped using one of the secondary craft, which was specially modified for long-range exploration. Therefore, my belief is that they have made planetfall within 300 light years of wherever the last beacon is located. I urge you to accept the task of finding all the beacons and hopefully discover a trace of the survivors. Your efforts will aid me in my great work, preventing humanity's extinction. Salvation. Arthur told me, community manager of FDev on the stream earlier this week, told us that the next stage of the Adamastor and Hesperus mystery would be on Thursday. Sure enough, it was, because in the afternoon everybody who'd taken part in the previous one and handed in the logs from the Hesperus got that message that I just read to you. So we're looking for 17 beacons, and then in a 300 light year radius around the last beacon is where Salvation believes that the crew who escaped the Hesperus, the ones who weren't killed by Pharma Sapien, found a planet and landed there, and may have found something of scientific significance. So, find the 17 beacons, do a search around the last one, find a planet where they landed, and go there. And it didn't take that long. Within a day, all 17 beacons were found. So it was a brute force search, but it had a bit more direction to it than normal, because, you know, we had a direction. We knew that all the beacons could only be within 100 light years of the previous beacon. We knew that the course was more or less in a straight line. And we had a rough idea of the final destination, because the Hesperus couldn't have drifted too far from the last beacon. Right, I don't know if you can see it on your nav panel, but you're looking for AZB2 / H002255 /SC01.
What?
Yeah.
On Earth is that?
It's the idea of the ship that escaped. So if you look on your nav panel, have you FSS'd the system yet?
Yeah, I have.
You have. Okay, look in the nav panel and it should be under points of interest.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yep. AZB2 H002255 SC01. Right, that's the ID of the ship that got away, with the scientists and engineers and some of the military on it.
All right.
So the beacons you can go to, but they just give that same thing, AZB2, H002255. H002255 is the ship ID for the Hesperus. We found that out last time.
Okay.
And then afterwards it just says something like TXB01 or TXB11 or whatever, and that just means transmitter beacon number 1, transmitter beacon number 11 up to 17.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But what we're looking at here is the ship that escaped from the Hesperus, the ones that got away, that weren't killed by Pharma Sapien, and who Velasco sacrificed herself to save so that they could get away. And from the logs last time, we were told that the scientists wanted to get on with the mission, and the military guys thinking like, well, that's great, but staying alive is more important right now. Let's stay alive first, and then worry about carrying on with the mission later, kind of things. Get out of here. But here is where they got to. This is where they got to. This is where the survivors got to, and where they landed. So we're going to come in and have a look at their ship. You look like you're almost there already.
Yeah, I should be dropping in on it any minute now.
I mean, we could go to one of the beacons just to show what they're like, but honestly, there's nothing to see really. You go to the beacon, it's just a regular listening post. It's got that one message where it's got, you know, the azimuth ID, the Hesperus ID, and then the number of the transmitter. But because all of the beacons were sabotaged, none of them are transmitting anything. So all you get from them is their IDs.
Yeah, and if you've seen one beacon, you've seen them all.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm posting the locations anyway. You know, I'm posting the locations for anyone who wants to go and have a look at one of them or all 17 of them. That's completely down to them.
Ooh, it's an anaconda. All right.
There you go. Now, the first thing you'll notice, I'm just coming in now, but the first thing you notice is it hasn't crashed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not only have they landed, but they've built several structures around it and appear to have lived there for a while.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never seen something like this before.
So you can see how they've just used materials that they had to build housing and a radio tower.
Huh. Wow.
And a self-sufficient little base where they could conduct their research.
Having some network issues, but okay, I'll just keep soldiering on.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm having some network issues, but I'll just keep soldiering. Oh wow, this is a really cool looking base.
So I love the way that, I mean, it's a shame you can't go inside the ship itself, but they've taken cargo containers and turned them into living space and working space. They've got this module here in the middle. They've got the 2 communication beacons which you can scan and get the logs from. There's one. And there's the other. And you scan both of those and you get the 2 logs which tell you what happened. And the Anaconda itself doesn't actually look in bad shape. They got it down in one piece.
Hmm.
It's not damaged as far as I can tell.
Ooh, materials.
There are some mats to pick up. Go ahead if you want those. And yeah, a makeshift base, which looks quite cool. Just a shame you
It
can't
looks
get
really
in.
cool.
You can't go in and walk around the ship, but you can get out on foot and walk around if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Just see what that'd be pretty cool. Hang on, let me just pick up these mats because I'm
just gonna land. If it lets me land, thank you. So, the Proteus is the name of the ship. Have you scanned the 2 logs yet?
I've scanned one. I'm going to the other one now.
All right.
And they got it down okay. One side of it, it's a really cool site actually. It's a lovely site. It might have been cool if it was on an atmospheric planet too.
Well then, but Horizon players couldn't find it.
Oh yeah, right, of course.
They've got to keep the Horizon players in the loop. You know, they've been part of this story too.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting... I mean, there might be, at some point, some Odyssey-only content. That's one of the things I was going to mention after we just had a little bit of a look around this place. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, and some more structures built there around the ship, using the ship itself as partial shelter. Well, why not? It's big enough. So yeah, these things here can just be the settlement comms uplinks. Just hit them with your data link scanner and you'll get the 2 logs. I've already accessed it, but I'm just driving there for the benefit of the videos so people can see they're right next to each other like this. Done. There is also a data beacon here, and this is just like the data beacon at any base, and you can get data from this, but regular Horizons data, like specialized legacy firmware and that kind of thing. From that data point you can pick up a couple of bits there, tagged encryption codes and unusual encrypted files. So Horizons data mats, as well as a material mat set.
Like I was saying, I think there were some network issues earlier, so I was having that.
While you're finding those, I'll just go in and out of Super Cruise and see if I can drop in.
Oh yeah.
I'll do that while you're scanning the logs.
Yeah. I see your ship.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? I can see your ship too, but I can't see your SRV or you, so don't ask me what that's about. We're only in a wing. I still can't get used to calling them teams, you know.
Yeah, it's... I don't like it. It feels too generic.
I've dropped out miles away, but what the hell. You found both logs yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, while I'm boosting towards you then. Kellerman, I don't know if he was the same guy as last time. I think he was. Yeah, this is Lieutenant Hugo Kellerman. I was Deputy Security Chief aboard the Hesperus, working for Azimuth Biochemicals. I've decided to resume my reports, even though the chances of us being rescued seem to be shrinking each day. After Pharma Sapiens sleeper agents took control, I managed to get some of the science team off ship using the Proteus. For the record, Private Adriana Velasco performed her duties exceptionally, and her family should be informed of her bravery. We only escaped thanks to her. I just hope she found her own way home Well, of course, we know that she didn't. She went back, released toxic gas through the ventilation system, killed all the people from Pharma Sapien, but also died herself. I wanted to set course for an inhabited system, but Dr. Farrell insisted on investigating readings sent back by one of Azimuth's deep space probes. She believed that Pharma Sapien would focus on all the probes they sent to the California Nebula, but that we might find something interesting in the opposite direction. Well, she was dead right about that. There's no doubt that the structures on this moon weren't built by humans. Those strange arches and monoliths are over 1 million years old according to molecular scans. Ackerman, the xenoarchaeologist, said it felt like he was walking through the ruined temples of forgotten gods. I just felt like a trespasser. We've also found even stranger things, half buried in the ground as if fallen from the sky, but they look more like starfish than starships, the sort of deep-sea creatures you find on ocean floors. What the hell flew around in those? Farrell thinks we're looking at an ancient battleground. The structures and the starfish things are nothing alike, suggesting totally different species. 2 intelligent races on the same world. Incredible. Both far more technologically advanced than us, but not so advanced they didn't try to kill each other. This is exactly what Azimuth has been looking for, although I doubt they ever expected a discovery like this. I'm more concerned about surviving long enough to tell them about it. We've been here for 2 months now, living off recycled air, food and water. The scientists have turned the Proteus into a research facility. Wouldn't it be great if we could go inside and see that? And all I can do is keep out of their way while they analyse their findings and test samples. They've almost forgotten that we barely escaped mass slaughter. I spent a lot of time monitoring the sensors. If those Pharma Sapien mercenaries find us, we won't stand a chance. But I can't understand why Azimuth hasn't sent out rescue parties, unless the sleeper agents sabotaged our beacons before they were dropped. Did they pre-program them to stop transmitting? If they did, then nobody knows we're here. We're alone. Just us. And the ghosts of the gods. So we've already changed a bit of history in a way, because somebody else had already found the Guardian sites. It's just that none of them apparently lived to tell the tale. But they didn't know what they were. And they also found some Thargoids, and they didn't know what they were either. And there's a Guardian site here, and there's Guardian ruins here. And around the Guardian site are about 5 crashed Thargoid ships. So then if we go to the second part of the log, this is Kellerman. I've just given myself the last of the stimulants that should keep me going long enough to record this, to tell Azimuth how he died. 3 days ago I went with a survey team to the structures. Ackerman and Zoo had brought something to life. I saw this pillar rise up from the ground with a large crystal inside it, blazing a brilliant light. After 1 million years, their machinery was still functioning. They fired up some kind of high-energy particle accelerator which shocked the crystal from its moorings. This didn't feel like archaeology to me, more like grave robbing. I should have known there'd be defences, but the hovering drone caught us by surprise. It vaporised Ackerman, along with 3 others. I managed to destroy it eventually, but there were more of them gliding around the structures and we got out fast. I offered to take the crystal back, thinking the drones might come looking for it, but Dr. Farrell already had her experiments ready to go. Weapons experiments. She told me that was always a priority for both the Adamastor and the Hesperus. Locate non-human technology that could be developed for the military market. Azimuth wants to be the first corporation selling alien weaponry which will make them bigger than Sirius. That's all they care about. That's who I've been working for all these years. No better than Pharma Sapien after all. A few hours ago, I was woken up by this intense blue flash. It seemed to come from everywhere. I thought we were under attack. Then Farrell came stumbling out of her lab. Her clothes and body burned black, and dropped dead. The others started collapsing within the hour. I think there was some kind of radiation surge from the crystal we stole. I tried to get the ship's drive online again, but too weak. Can hardly stand now. Pain in every muscle. Vision is blurred. My skin is like everyone else's. God knows what experiments Farrell was running, but now there's three dead races on this moon. We shouldn't be here. Humans don't belong. If Azimuth finds us, please, don't find us. Okay, so that's some pretty heavy stuff right there.
Mm.
You know, they'd not met Thargoids, they'd not met Guardians. I can see your SRV now. But a relic? I've never heard of a relic killing anyone. They describe a relic tower coming out of the ground.
Mm.
And the crystal in it is a Guardian relic itself, right? But I've never heard of a relic emitting radiation and burning people. So, is this their scientific discovery? Maybe they tried bombarding it with some kind of radiation, and it just unleashed this energy pulse of its own, which essentially fries you. Could the relics be some as yet untapped source of a lot of power, with potential either to be a bomb or an energy source? Is this the scientific discovery that salvation meant? If so, I'm not sure it's one that I want to hand over to anyone, you know?